Ladies as well as gentlemen, Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone Arena action. I am hot on the heels of a successful run. Let's do another one. One good turn deserves another, does it not? We actually just played as Mage, and we played as Hunter like 2 arenas before that. So even though Rogue feels pretty recent, it was the least recent class. And it's a really fun one to play, so let's go ahead and do it. Well, I'm just not going to dither here. The Violet Teacher is awesome. The other two cards are bleh, so we'll take the Violet Teacher. Here we get a little bit of a hunk of trash, but the Blood Accelerator, because I'm a rogue, and I'm going to be having a dagger most of the time, is going to be usually a 3-3 for 2. That's fine. We'll take it. Sap actually wrecked me in my last run. So because these are both pretty unremarkable cards, this one being totally unplayable trash, I'm going to try the Sap. I used to never take it. We'll give it a shot. Ha! Eviscerate. That is a card I will always take. And Assassin's Blade. Well, I do like the Warden, but it's not quite good enough to take over the Assassin's Blade. I want to make sure I have one of these in my deck. I do like the Amani Berserker. It's the best 2-drop in the game. These are sort of mediocre cards. In my opinion, anyway. The Bluegill Warrior's kind of quasi-removal, but let's take the Acolyte. I'd like to make sure that I have some card draw, and the Acolyte's a good target for your own shivs and stuff. Well, these are both decent creatures, but the Backstab, that's my favorite rogue spell. It's just so good. Shadow Step, I've experimented with it. I did not like it, so I'm going to try Booty by Bodyguard, although I don't like it either. It's better than the Shadow Step. So here, the Doomsayer can be randomly good, the Blood Knight can be randomly good, but I'm just going to take Mountain Giant. It's not as good as Sea Giant, but it is a giant, and so it's some endgame, and it's nice to have. This guy will, as a rogue, when you're a rogue, will usually be charging, so it's like a 2 damage, 1 mana. So it's kind of like the Bluegill Raider, but for 1 mana less. But I want to make sure I have a Silence in the deck, so I'll take the Spellbreaker there. So here for me it's between Betrayal and the Stormwind Champion. Betrayal is sometimes like a 2 mana Assassinate, where you don't get to pick exactly who dies, but sometimes it's a total blowout. But the Stormwind Champion can just, be good and win games. I'll take the Stormwind Champion here. If that had been like an Eviscerate or something, I would have passed it by. Ventricle Mercenary, we've seen him be really good, but I want to make sure I don't miss Deadly Poison. It's essentially a Fiery War Axe for rogues, so it's really good. Here, the Darkscale Healer, we keep seeing it. The rogues do benefit from life gain, but I don't know. I'd rather just use my dagger intelligently and not rely on mediocre cards to gain life back. Let's just take Fan of Knives. It's a really great removal spell. Okay, so Defiance Ringleader is great, but Assassinate is nice to have one of, so I will take it right here. Ah, man, Senjin is good, but I don't know. I just can't pass backstabs. I'm sorry. There's just no number of backstabs. There's no number of backstabs that's too many backstabs. Here we'll take the Betrayal over this mediocre stuff. We're starting to get a lot of removal. We need to start getting more creatures. Let's take a quick count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells that count as removal. Sap, we'll call it 7. 8 here. And 9. So a third of our deck is already removal. Ugh. Do I take another Deadly Poison or a Harvest Golem, a premier 3-drop? Let's take Deadly Poison. It's just so good. We'll get creatures later. All right. Well, we get either Deathwing, the ultimate YOLO card, Tickmaster Overspark, which can kind of be like a polymorph that can backfire horribly, or this guy who's just always good. Well, we'll just take the Karen Bloodhoof. It's a Chillwind Yeti that costs 2 more mana, but he comes back when he dies, so that's great. We're doing fine on card draw, I feel, with the Acolyte and the Fan of Knives. So, well, I mean, yeah, I guess I could really get more than that. But here, the Defiance Ringleader is tempting, but we really are lacking for, like, good, like, 3 mana and 4 mana creatures. So I think the Silvermoon Guardian's the right call here. So he fills a hole in the deck, and that'll be nice. Now, the Deadly Poison, I don't want any more. Let's take the Frostwolf Warlord for some sort of late game. I just don't want any more 2-drops. God, why do I keep getting 2-drops? What do I have here for 2? I have the Berserker, the Raider. I guess technically I only have really 2 creatures playable at 2 mana. So this is sort of removal, but I've got plenty of removal. Let's just take the Fairy Dragon here. Oh god. Well, I want to take the Ringleader because you want to have one of those in your deck, but I might have to take this just out of respect for the fact that I don't have any, like, decently sized bodies. You know what? This isn't even decently sized enough for me to care. Like, if this were Chillwind Yeti or something, I'd take it. But this, meh. We'll take a Ringleader to make sure we have it. Alright, here's the Panda. We have to take the Panda. This is like the 4th Deadly Poison I'm seeing. We need more bodies to hit the floor. Sure. We'll take the Priestess over the 2nd Acolyte. Oh, maybe hang on. I currently have 1 creature playable at 3 mana. Alright, we'll take another Acolyte for some more cards. Do I take another Eviscerate? I would take a real creature over Eviscerate here because I have so much removal, but this Crocolisk doesn't really cut the mustard, nor does the Vanish, so we'll take the Eviscerate here. Oh god, this is Jesus. Where are all the 3-mana, 4-mana creatures? Well, since I don't actually need any more low drops, do I have anything that is worth pandaing back? I can get the Silence again, I can Divine Shield again, I can combo him again, I guess? Yeah, there's really not... No, let's just take another Silence. And alright, we need late game something fierce. This guy is cheaper than the Ogre for the same total stats, but I don't really want the drawback. The Assassin's Blade, I don't think I can afford it. We're going to take the Ogre here for some late game stuff. Now, the M-Master is nifty, but honestly, the fact that this is a 4-4 for 4 is pretty appealing to me. Let's just go ahead and take that up. Well, this draft both was good and was bad. It was great because we saw all those great removal spells. Maybe I should have passed one of those backstabs. I mean, I took a backstab over like a Senjin Shieldmaster, I think. But I don't know, backstab is just so incredibly good. I guess this is where we get to see, is Papa Boris right or is he wrong that you can never have too many backstabs? Let's go ahead and find out. The curve of this deck is absolutely out of control. But we did get some late cards. You know, I took that Stormwind Champion over something else, so I'm really glad I did that. I have the Giant, which I took over some other random epic. I could have taken like a cheap epic, but I chose the Giant, so that's good. I took the Bloodhoof over the Deathwing and the Tinkmaster, so that was good. So, you know, there were key moments where I'd say that I made very good picks in the draft, making sure I got some late game, so I'm not totally hopelessly lost. But it's going to be a little bit tricky, that's for sure. Okay, so I have 3 main options here. Well, I have 4 now. I can play this guy, waste the combo, try to trade with the dragon. I could play this guy, waste the battle cry, try to trade with the dragon. I could play this guy and just dragon for dragon. Or I could play the dagger and try to make this a 3-3, but why do I care about this being a 3-3 if it's just going to die to the dragon? So we'll play the fairy dragon then. I'm not wasting anything by playing it, and I'm just trying to trade creatures. If my opponent has Fiery War Axe, then he can go suck a dog, and we'll just hope for the best. Whew. No Fiery War Axe for my opponent, that's good. My opponent makes the play that I am so fond of making, which is that if you think your opponent's going to trade, you should attack him, and my opponent's totally right. Let's play the Acolyte of Pain. One nice thing about being up against a warrior is that I'm not afraid of overextending, so I would just play this and then the Defy String Leader next turn and flood the board and hope for the best. That Grizzly is pretty good. Out of respect for this Grizzly, I could play the Silver Moon Guardian and put my plans on hold for a sec. Yeah, let's actually do that. Let's put this... So the Grizzly will get to kill my Acolyte. I don't really lose anything because I still draw the card, and then I can pop the Divine Shield and kill the Grizzly. This is a nice body for 4 mana, but although a third of my deck is spells, more actually, more than a third of my deck is spells, I have actually not seen any of my spells. This might be a Sunday afternoon casual player because he did not kill my Acolyte. He absolutely should. Given the board state, where I can kill the bear and then use my Acolyte to kill the Dragonling, he absolutely needed to kill my Dragonling there. So that was a bit of a misstep by my opponent, which I will not complain about. I think I could waste the Battle Cry on this just to trigger the Bandit. Or I could just play this thing. Well, let's do this, actually. So, this is a really good body. It establishes some nice board presence. And next turn, or maybe not next turn, because I do kind of want to play this guy. Fan of Knives will draw me a card and put a 1-1 out, which is kind of nice. So my opponent made a strategic misplay, not killing my Acolyte when he had the chance. He's just going all the way for the throat. I'm not sure it's going to work for him. That kind of strategy can work, I just don't think it's going to work here. Well, let's postpone this stuff a little more to put a 7-7 on the board. And then we're going to throw the Acolyte away to get a card. Spellbreaker. So I've drawn both of my silences now. I will attack with the Silver Moon Guardian to protect as much health as I can on the Violet Teacher. We're going to pass the turn. So my opponent with this Berserker, if he's got like a Cruel Taskmaster, he can hit me for 7 damage, dropping me down to 15, which would be pretty good. But even so, I can then kill it on my next turn, and I should be alright. I mean, I don't think my opponent can burn me out. Let's say he gets me down to 15. Arcanite Reaper gets me down to 5, but that's in 2 turns, and I've got a 7/7 over here. Yeah, my opponent's not going to do so good. Rampage. Ah, touche, sir. Well, that is not going to work out well for my opponent, because I have not 1, but 2 silences. He's going to keep going for the throat. He is going to keep going for the throat. Okay, well here we need to use a silence, so the Cairn will have to wait. Which silence do I use? This will let me put more stuff onto the board. This is a bigger body. Let's put the bigger body.
Your magic shall not save you.
I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up here. Oh yeah, I can combo this out. Seems good. Well, this is a bit scary for warriors. I mean, a mage, flame strike, the end. But for warriors, it's a bit tougher to deal with this. Ah, he's going to have silence. For my silence, this is still a 4/4 though. And that's just a 5/5. That's not super impressive. And he should really kill the Violet Teacher. He's got plenty of health. He should be killing my creatures. Yeah, this opponent either is a new player or is just making lots of mistakes. Stormwind Champion, what do we got? 8, 11, 15, plus 5 is 20 damage. That's not enough to win. But it is enough to trade very profitably. I could also play Fan of Knives, make a 1/1, kill the owl, get this down to 4. Spellbreaker would then kill it. Ah, yeah, that looks good. So let's do this. Hold off on the Stormwind Champion for just a moment. Backstab. I can't do it on this guy, so we will just do that. Let's make a dagger, make a berserker. Swing, 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 and yep, we're gonna go ahead and swing too. Okay, so next turn, I'm pretty sure without doing the math, Stormwind Champion plus my team is gonna be the kill. There's really no way for a warrior to deal 18 damage, so the best card he could have is a Brawl. Even then, that'd be almost his whole turn, and I still have lots of good stuff to follow up. Cleave enrages my guy. That is fine. This is the problem I have with warriors. I think that their spells are just really bad. Warriors just do not have good spells. They do nifty things, but they don't win you games. Assassinate. Well, let's take a look here. We need to count a bit precisely. We got 5, 9, 10, 13, 15, 20 damage. Yep, that's enough. Well, that was a really easy game. However, I'm not going to get too cocky here and say that this deck will go the distance just yet, because my opponent made some very bad strategic blunders. His deck seemed alright, but he didn't kill my Acolyte when he had the chance. He didn't attack my Violet Teacher with his axe when he had the chance. He just, he made some missteps. He basically was throwing everything at my face that he could, and while that is sometimes okay, it is not always correct. And in that case, it was not the correct thing for him to be doing. In any case, we're off to a pretty good start. I've actually been doing alright recently in the arena, so I'm pretty happy about that. We'll see if we can keep the streak going here. Michi the Warrior. Ah, it's 2 warriors in a row. Okay. Fair enough. Well, let's go ahead and keep my 3-drop and 4-drop. This is a bit slow, but I have so many spells here, I hesitate to mulligan my creatures. Over a third of this deck is spells. The fact that I've actually... This is really actually unbelievable, that I didn't see, like, really any spells in the last game. I saw, like, what, the backstab showed up? And, yeah, there's a backstab, and the Fan of Knives came around, but otherwise it was, like, all creatures. You'd think I actually, like, drafted an appropriate deck. Organ Infiltrator, alright. Wow, 2 1-drops. That is something. Wow, these are the 2 good 1-drops in the game. I have to give my opponent a well played. That is pretty awesome. So, this guy kind of hopes to trade against the Divine Shield and the Worgen Infiltrator. And then I can play the Acolyte of Pain and try to finish off the Argent Squire. That is the idea. My opponent could also, of course, just play Fiery War Axe, and I'm still going to play the Acolyte of Pain, and either he kills it with the War Axe and I draw cards, so I'm saving some face, or he lets me attack his creatures with it, and then I get even more cards. Assassinate's showing up a little bit early to the party. Armorsmith, that's fine. I mean, it's sort of like a... I'm going to pay for my problems later kind of a card. Okay, so here's the Acolyte then. I'll just kill this thing. So I'm veritably inviting my opponent to use the Divine Shield to kill off my Berserker, but the Berserker already killed a creature. Then the Acolyte of Pain can kill the Argent Squire and draw me a card in the process, so I should be fine. Alright, my opponent didn't have anything better than that, which is good news for me. These two 1-power creatures against an Acolyte of Pain are a sorry sight to behold. He's actually going to hit it and give me a card. Does he have a Slam or something? Or an Execute? Rampage. Ah! That deserves a well played. Oh my gosh. My opponent's making good plays all over the place here. Murloc Tidecolor. Well, that is the first bad card we've seen from my opponent this game. That is funny. You know what is even more funny? This sap. I cannot believe how good this sap is. Holy cow. So there goes the... So this is not card disadvantage. Normally sap is card disadvantage, but when your opponent buffed the creature, that is not the case. I could dagger up and kill the Squire, but I'd actually rather do this. Let's just play the Bloodstone's Raider, so I'm wasting the Battle Cry. Oh my gosh, I should have done this first. Always draw cards first, kids. Wow. You know what? By not drawing a card first, I really screwed things up. Because I missed the opportunity to combo out this Defias Ringleader. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to let this thing live. I was originally going to backstab it and let it die. But what I can do now is I can just kill it with the Bloodstone's Raider. And I want to keep this backstab around to trigger combo for the Ringleader. If I should need that thing. So my opponent's holding 3 cards and an Armor Smith. I'm holding 5 cards and 2 creatures that are better than his creature. So I'd say that I won the opening here. Can still go either way, but for now I'm doing fine. My opponent has a few too many 1-drops. Okay, so the Worgen Infiltrator, that's good. The Argent Squire, that's stupendous. Rock on, bro. But that thing must have been a very... What is this? Is this a rare card? Well, I don't know what kind of card it is, but this must have been a very bad pack. It's a rare. Okay. Well, backstab gets us down to 3 health. It's not really enough. Unless I use the dagger, whack it, throw this thing away. Why bother with all that? Well, why bother with it? Well, because maybe I can get 1/1s with the Violet Teacher. Or I can combo out the Ringleader. I could just assassinate it. Draw a card. Kill this thing off. Yeah, I'm going to trust my instincts. I think this is the... Well, God. I mean, what if my opponent plays something really scary later? You know what I mean? Okay, we'll do this. We're going to play the Violet Teacher. I'm going to backstab this thing. Get a 1/1. Going to draw a card. Fan of Knives. Okay. We're going to kill that thing. Just like that. So I'm basically hedging my bets against a really big creature later that I'll want the Assassinate for. I've got the edge. This is an Armor Smith, which kind of sucks. And then 3 other cards. I have 5 cards and 2 creatures already. So my opponent needs some pretty amazing stuff to get back into this game. In 2 turns, the Stormwind Champion is going to be spectacular, because if my opponent hasn't played like a Whirlwind to get rid of these Violet Apprentices, they're going to be 2/2s. That's kind of crazy. Alright, nothing for 5 mana for my opponent. That's good. The Monkey. Alright, well, the Monkey, you know what it can do, guys. It can do my favorite thing, which is suck a dog. Alright. Frostwolf Warlord, not super impressive just yet. I think this is the time to Fan of Knives. Draw a card, get a 1/1. It does give my opponent a lot of armor, but honestly, who cares? We'll kill the Monkey, and we'll get this thing. Yeah, as always, my opponent needs extremely good cards, not only to handle what I have, but what's coming next. Actually, I might not even play the Stormwind Champion. If enough of this stuff lives, I'll play like a 7/7 for 5 mana, no problem. So I'm assuming the Armor Smith will kill off, say, the Bandit. But then there's 3 creatures left, so if they all live, This will be a 7/7 for 5 mana. That is quite good. Man, I'm really glad I took this. I took this over a deadly poison. Yeah, that was the right move. Ah, man, not to toot my own horn, but for all the mistakes I might have made, I also made some really good plays in this particular draft. Alright, the axe means my opponent will get to kill off 2 of my creatures, and with all that armor that he has, I can't imagine that he would neglect to do that. Oh, what are you doing? Now this is a different warrior, I'm pretty sure, but this is 2 warriors in a row who are making strategic errors, so the Sunday afternoon casual players are back in full force, it seems. Let's do that. Let's make a dagger, because why not? And I think we're going to need to mop things up here. So first I'm going to kill this thing, just to stop it from more armor from getting made. And do I want to keep this dagger around? My opponent has so much health it doesn't even matter. I might as well keep this around in case I draw a deadly poison. Like, the damage I'm going to deal with this dagger, the odds of it mattering when my opponent is at 39 health is pretty insignificant. Well, we drew another late game card, which is nice. Shield block, okay. This person I think is going for like the tank Hearthstone build. It's not really a good strategy, unfortunately, because if you're not getting creatures on the board, your opponent can always deal more damage with his creatures than you can possibly heal up. Yeah, so I think we're gonna get a pretty easy win here. He's kidding me for some reason. When you have that much life, you should use it to kill your opponent's creatures. Like, for example, this thing that's making 1/1s. Oh, there you go. My opponent sees me hovering over it. He's like, oh, is this like a private tutor? Am I getting lessons? Oh, I should kill the Violet teacher with my axe? Oh, okay. No, never mind. I know better than my tutor. What the heck does Papa Boris know? Okay, all my stuff is 1 health, which is really funny against this monkey. Luckily, the Stormwind Champion makes it a lot less funny for my opponent. Let's go ahead and kill the monkey. Boink, boink. Again, I don't really feel the need to use up the dagger here. It's just not making any difference. So yes, I've like kind of sacrificed 2 damage, but there's a couple of deadly poisons back here, so I might need it. Alright, this is really outrageous. I actually could have used the dagger on the monkey, now that I think about it, and used one of the 3/2s to attack it. That would have preserved a point of health on the Violet teacher. That might have been a better move, but it's a kind of minor thing. There's a Sea Giant. Well, there's the reason I held on to Assassinate. Ah, Fiery War Axe. Boy, if that had been coming on turn 2, I would have been in trouble. But of course my opponent's not killing my creatures with it. He's just going to hit me. So here's why you want to hit your opponent's creatures in this scenario. They're going to hit you right now. So you might as well kill them. I mean, you're taking the damage either way. Might as well let the creature die. There we go. My opponent's starting to learn how to play the game. Good for him. Here is where we will assassinate.
I am ready to learn.
Now, at this point, yeah, I'll start to swing a ling-ling here. Let's actually play the Master of Stealth and hide my Stormwind Champion from view. He is threatening to pop out of the woodwork and kill my opponent, as are, you know, all my other creatures. A Brawl could save my opponent for a turn. Unfortunately, then I could just play the Assassin's Blade and swing twice and win. Well, no, actually, hang on, he's got armor. I'd have to play Boulderfist Ogre in case of a Brawl. Anyway, there's no Brawl. There's just some creatures. He's going to go out in style. Oh, I hope he does. Folks, I think it should be mandatory. If you're about to lose and you're holding a weapon, you should hit a creature and die fighting. Alright, there's the deadly poison. We don't even need it, though. Look at all the cards in my hand and all the creatures on the board. Again, I don't think that's because my deck is that good or because I'm that good of a player. I think that player made some crucial strategic mistakes. Ooh, Golden Fan of Knives. That's actually kind of good. So as you level up, every few levels you get a golden basic card, and I've noticed they kind of start you off with the junkiest ones. It's like, ooh, Golden Healing Touch. All right. But as you start to climb in levels, you can actually get like good goldens. Like I'm really looking forward to getting like a golden Fire Elemental for Shamans, or like a golden True Silver Champion for Paladins. That would be sweet. So I think it's a very clever system by Blizzard. You know, giving you the nice golden rewards as you level up. What? Whoa! Jesus! Oops! I just clicked play. That was 2 games. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, Well, okay, we'll just do a third game in this one. I'm sorry, folks. I just clicked play. It'd be kind of awkward to stop everything here and do it on the next one. So we'll do a little bit of a longer video, and I apologize for that. We'll play 3 games here, then we'll pause, and we'll see the rest of the games later on. My apologies for forgetting what I'm doing. So I'm up against a paladin. What are you? Why did I say that twice? I'm up against a paladin, so I'm definitely not going to use my dagger. Reason being, the rogue's hero ability is very good against the paladin's hero ability. Now, it's not to say that rogues are good against paladins. I don't know about that, but rogue's hero ability is good against the paladins because 1 instance of the rogue's ability takes out 2 instances of the paladin's ability. And I have Fan of Knives here for extra protection against these 1/1s. Awkwardly, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about when you have a really spell-heavy deck. I have tons of spells and nothing to use them on. So this is why I was so shocked in the first game, and really in the second game when I drew so many creatures. Frostwolf Warlord's not super great, unfortunately. So I get to play this guy. He's actually pretty good against paladins because he's got a pretty sturdy body, and True Silver Champion and Blessing of Kings don't quite do the work that is needed to be done. Actually, Light's Justice could be really good though against this thing, because he could basically hit the Silver Moon Guardian with the Light's Justice, pop the Divine Shield, and then play Hammer of Wrath and kill him. Oh wow, Repentance. Well, doesn't really make that much of a difference, honestly, I don't think. Because he doesn't have a 1/1 in play. If he had a 1/1 in play, that would have, of course, been great. Swing with Light's Justice, pop Divine Shield, use the 1/1 to kill it. That's fine. But since he doesn't have that in play, I think I should be okay. This is basically like a Scarlet Crusader that I paid 4 mana for. That's fine by me. Hammer of Wrath to pop the Divine Shield and draw a card. So the secret made no difference whatsoever at all. So I'd say that I'm up a card, and that's pretty good. Unfortunately, here's the problem. Like, look, I don't have anything to do. So I'm just going to play
Enter the shadows.
a 4/4. 4/4. That sucks. I don't want to put Deadly Poison on this dagger because I might be using it to kill reinforcements. So I don't want to waste a Deadly Poison like that. We'll wait and see. I have all my spells here. My opponent's just not doing anything whatsoever. What's really funny is the one spell that I want to have, Assassinate, is the one I don't have because it's getting riskier or more and more likely now that my opponent will actually play something really huge that I'll need to kill. So a 5-mana card comes out, Fen Creeper. See, this is where I'd really want an Assassinate, actually. That would be pretty good. Ah, Boulder Fist Ogre, also pretty good. Well, let's make a little bit of a pro play here. This could be horrible, but I'm assuming that's Noble Sacrifice. Now, the last secret actually wasn't Noble Sacrifice, but I'm assuming this one is, so I'm trying to flush it out. Whew, okay. So, obviously, swinging at the Fen Creeper would have just been dumb, but here I spent my dagger to flush out Noble Sacrifice. My opponent goes down another card. And now I'm actually going to backstab this and use the Master of Disguise. So the Light's Justice, of course, will finish off the Master of Disguise, but I have a 6/7 in play. Paladins are famously bad at dealing with big creatures. His only outs, really, are Aldor Peacekeeper and Humility, both of which would set this guy's attack down to 1. Now, I've got 2 silences in his deck, which would actually set its attack back up to 6 if I were to draw them. And in any case, that is not what my opponent has, it seems. At least that's not what he's doing just yet.
Reporting for duty.
Shields up.
Ha. Well, that's pretty nice. So, here, backstab is actually quite timely. I can backstab Fan of Knives. Sadly, I cannot play Frostwolf Warlord, but I can backstab this, Fan of Knives, kill this and that. Deadly Poison, kill that. Swing with my 6/6. That seems good. So always, whoa, jeez. This is an exception to always draw cards first, because if I Fan of Knives first, I can't use backstab. So first I have to backstab. Then I have Fan of Knives. Iron Beak out. Okay, this is actually good to have on hand, because if my opponent were to play an Aldor Peacekeeper on my Ogre, I could silence the Ogre and make it back into a 6/7, and we swing for 6. Oh, I have mana left over. I guess we'll make a dagger. Well, this Ogre might just go the distance. If my opponent plays one big thing, oh, that'll actually be really great. I can play Sap and return it. If my opponent plays lots of little things, I don't even care. Twilight Drake? Oh, it's somewhere in the middle, I guess. And a 1/1. Well, What I'd like, well, okay. I have options. One option, silence the Twilight Drake, get it down to be a 4-1, kill it with my dagger, swing for 6, down to 11 health. I actually then would have 6 mana left over. Ooh, I could actually play the Frostwolf Warlord. That seems really good. I could also sap this and just swing for 6, make a 5-5, but this actually seems pretty good. Now, I left a Paladin's Creature on the board, and the reason for this is that I have 2 big things. If I just had 1 big thing, I actually would have killed this thing. Because, you know, Blessing of Kings, Divine Shield, Blessing of Might, blah, blah, blah. You could do all sorts of stupid stuff. But I've got 2 big things. I'm guessing he can only take care of 1 of them, not both of them. He actually can't take care of either of them unless he has a Consecration here. Ah, Hammer of Wrath. Okay. Well, he should have done that first, because that drew him a card. And you always want to draw cards first. Assassinate is quite timely. Let's go ahead and play this Mountain Giant as well. Okay, that was a really strong game. And I don't think this person was entirely a casual player. I don't think he made like that many mistakes or anything. It's just seems like my deck performed really, really well. I've got room to spare here. So it has a lot of cheap removal and a decent enough number of big cards that it's able to... That is a card I am not a fan of. Wow. I have to do this, right? I have to kill him with this creature he just buffed for me. Eh. So yeah, I have a lot of cheap removal, and I have just enough big cards that I'm able to then just own the late game if I can kill everything in the early and mid game. Okay, we're gonna remember to pause the video here. So thank you once again for watching. If you enjoyed the video and stuck with it, do please like and/or subscribe. And if you want to see how this arena ends, then stay tuned because the rest of the games are going to be coming up shortly. I shall see you then.